So we're now live, and I need to do this. This is always the best part of the webinar when I'm trying to make sure everything gets turned on.
Yeah.
It's totally exciting. Hi, everybody. This is Trygve from the Busy Web Hive up in Champlin, Minnesota. With me, as always, is my faithful sidekick, Jenna. Hi, Jenna.
Hi.
Happy Star Wars Day to you, Jenna.
May the Force be with you.
And may the 4th also be with you. Are you going to be going to see the Star Wars tonight at midnight?
I'm not, because I'm actually leaving tomorrow for Wisconsin to go to my family's Christmas party. I will be driving.
Are you going to be able to get to see the show with your family?
I'm hoping, yeah. I have to convince them to go watch it. But
You have to convince somebody to go to Star Wars with you?
yeah.
Why on earth would you have to do that?
They're not very much into the science fiction or the fantasy.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of fun.
My wife and I, we are having some problems because we are considering putting our child in daycare over the Christmas holiday to go see Star Wars. And I, of course, am fine with it because I really want to see Star Wars. But my wife thinks that's bad parenting on our part. So we'll have to figure out something.
He's young enough. He won't remember.
So this is what I'm saying. So anyway, I'm sure none of you really want to hear us talk about Star Wars. We're here today to talk about good customer retention strategies. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk a little bit about who we are. Then we're going to get into great customer retention strategies. We'll talk about how to connect with your clients, talk about the best killer tool in order to do that, give you some tips and tricks on websites and social media questions. So for those of you who are joining us live, you'll notice on the right-hand side of your screen, you will be able to see a blue bar that you'll be able to ask us questions live. As I'm presenting, Jenna will interrupt me in the most polite way as possible and ask your questions so you can get your questions answered in real time. So with that, let's go ahead and get started and start my slideshow again. There we go. So what do we do here at BusyWeb? For those of you who don't know us, we're a full-service digital marketing agency. We specialize in creating great websites, search engine optimization, content marketing, of which Jenna is one of our best people of, pay-per-click advertising, and also website hosting. It's a quick plug for us, we are offering a $1,000 discount on our Buzz Builders program right now. The Buzz Builders team has a little bit of room left for the rest of the year that they'd be more than happy to work with you. So if you're interested in that, please contact us at busyweb.com. So let's talk about customer retention. We're coming up at the end of the year, and we're coming into a brand new year where we all want to get new customers, but we also want to make sure that we keep the ones that we have. How do we do that in a way that actually best serves our interests? Well, funny enough, because we're a marketing company here at BusyWeb, we think marketing to your customers and reminding them about the customer experience that they had with you is the best way to do it. Statistically speaking, in a business environment, your existing clients are responsible for about 90% of your business. And in some terrible instances, many of you might have one client that's responsible for 50 or 60% of your business. So it's important that you have a diverse portfolio, but keep in mind that keeping those people happy and buying from you is paramount for the life of your business. Existing customers are also the least expensive to reach with marketing dollars, and they are the most happy to hear from you. And most importantly, if you're doing your job right and continuing to talk with them, they're a great referral source. So let's talk about the sales cycle to begin with. In the olden days, this is what the sales cycle looked like. You spent a lot of time trying to prospect and find new customers. Then you spent less time trying to convert them into becoming customers, and then you spent as little time as you could humanly possible on keeping them as actual customers. This is sort of the traditional sales funnel that they teach in most business schools. Trouble is, it's wrong. This is what the sales cycle looks like today. You're going to spend the least amount of time possible finding new customers, because you can be found and they can do your work for you. You're going to be spending the same amount of time converting those prospects into actual customers, and then you need to be spending the most amount of your time leveraging the relationships and leveraging the customers that you already have to try and find new revenue opportunities. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Here's how this works in terms of the actual theory. So on your screen, you'll be able to see your store. Some of you have an actual store where somebody can come in and buy a product or service. Some of you have a figurative store, like a website or something like that. But all of us have a store in one way or another. So how do we keep our customers happy? Well, the first thing that we do is we provide them with a really great experience. And that's really the key, is that if you can't provide somebody with a really fantastic experience, you're probably not going to be in business very long. Also, keep in mind, there are a lot of people that do what you do. There are a lot of people that do what we do. There are a lot of people that do what everybody does. So the most important thing that you can offer is by providing a great experience and a memorable experience. If you can't do that, you should probably think about doing that and stop here. But if you can, then the next step in the process is enticing those customers to stay in touch. Tell me how our product, tell me how our service actually affected you in a positive way. Tell me how it worked out for you, and let me know how well it did. When you entice them to stay in touch, it imprints in them a reminder that you gave them that great experience. And so after you entice people to stay in touch, what ends up happening is you re-engage people. When you provide different services than just the one that your customer bought, if you remind them of that great experience and remind them that it's time for them to buy from you again, that re-engages them in the cycle, and then it ends up pushing them back into buying from you again. But in addition to that, if we do that through digital marketing efforts, things like social media and things like that, what we end up getting is social visibility. The audience of your customer will notice the great experience that you've given them and the track record that you're building with their customers. And so when your customer gets asked a question as simple as, hey, does anybody know a really good plumber? They're going to be able to answer that question with you. And so the social visibility piece is really like having this individual cycle, but really speaking through a megaphone and really getting that more people to notice you. And when you have social visibility, either online or offline, what you end up getting is new prospects who jump out of the arrow and are clamoring to get into your store. So actually working on customer retention strategies is really going to help you actually even get new business on top of everything else. I mentioned a little earlier that you are not a unique snowflake, and there are competitors in this town or wherever you are hearing this that do what you do. So the next question is, well, what do you have? What is unique to you? Well, what you do have is powerful. You do have loyal and happy customers that you've already worked with, people that have bought from you because of who you are. You also have an excellent customer experience because you've already given them that great customer experience that you're going to work on reminding them about it in the future. And most importantly, you have interesting and important things to say. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get into it a little further. But all of these three things together give you the opportunity to go back to a customer, remind them of that great experience, remind them of who you are, and exclaim about how good you are at what you do and how you made their life better. And the way in which you do that is by listening to your customer. Understanding your audience makes you a better business owner and have a better business. Knowing what interests them, what disappoints them about you, what they've really found as a really great thing, allows you to service their needs, it allows you to grow your business, and it also allows you to ask for repeat business. So how many times have you ever heard people say this? Well, I'd spend more if the customer service was there. Or somebody says, if I have a really good experience, I'm definitely going to tell my friends. Or even as simple as, I don't worry as much about the prices if the experience is great. I have that feeling all the time, don't you, Jenna? If If the prices are so high, if the experience is great, you don't really care.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, exactly. So we all have these experiences. We all hear people saying this. The most important thing that you can do as a business owner is actually ask your audience, your customer base, if they're having similar experiences. Is your customer service up to snuff? If so, they might spend more money with you. If they have good experiences, have you asked them to tell their friends? If they if they have a great experience, are they as concerned about price? Or could you potentially even raise your price a little more? All of these things come from actually listening. One of the ways in which you do that is by actually literally physically asking people questions. We recommend the Constant Contact Survey program. It comes as a part of your email marketing program. But in doing so and asking closed-ended questions, you can actually get a lot of really great information. Now, Jenny, you know the difference between an open-ended question and a closed-ended question?
I do.
So would you like to share?
Sure. Well, an open-ended question elicits more responses from people. So it could be something like, where were you when you went to your first concert? Okay, that could be anything. Whereas a closed-ended question, you're only going to get specific answers to, and you can, more importantly, funnel those answers into something that you can then use. So in this example that Trigby has up here, what are your favorite products? And then you provide them a list of specific products. They have to choose one of those.
The trick here with a closed-ended question is make sure that you understand and make sure you are directing people to give the answer that you want, which is, in this particular instance, as Jenna said, the survey that we have here has particular answers, but sometimes closed-ended questions can give you a different answer. For instance, Jenna, do you know what time it is?
No.
See? That's a yes or no question. That's a yes or no question. But oftentimes, if you were listening to this, you probably looked at a clock and saw what time it is. The question that I asked wasn't what time is it. The question is whether or not you knew what time it is. Jenna doesn't know what time it is. She answered the question correctly in the way in which I needed her to answer. So closed-ended questions, they're easy to answer, they're easy to analyze, they allow for great comparison because they are definitive answers. And make sure that when you are trying to make decisions about your business, you're going to know exactly the balance and exactly whether or not what decisions you want to be making. So the converse of that is open-ended questions. So open-ended questions are questions that aren't limited by options. In this particular instance, do you have any suggestions for improving our products? They're harder to answer those. So don't fill out your surveys with a lot of those questions because people will get what's known as respondent fatigue. Open-ended survey questions are harder to analyze because the actual answers vary, and they're a spectrum of people who are blissfully happy to unbelievably unhappy, and they're time-consuming to evaluate, but they do provide really great, deep insight. So I would encourage you, when you do surveys, ask one or two important open-ended questions in order to do that. But again, keep in mind, you do not want to ask too many open-ended questions because you will not get people to actually respond to the survey as a result. So the results that people give you when they actually answer questions for you and give you feedback should inspire action in your business. You need to review and analyze them. You need to be able to spot trends in terms of how people are talking to you and then create an action plan and then actually do it. The worst thing in the world that you can do for your business is ask people for really genuine feedback and then do absolutely nothing with it. The important thing to do is when you're asking for good feedback, actually follow through and take the action. Once you do, you'll realize that your customers are the audience that are driving your revenue, not what you think is best. You want to follow what the people who are actually giving you money say is the best thing to do. Of course, obviously, there's some caveats that go along with that. It's within reason, but for the most part, reviewing and analyzing, spotting those trends, and then taking the appropriate action is really a great way to have surveys be a best practice for retaining your customers because you're listening to what they have to say. Second best practice that we're going to offer you today is email. Email is great. It's incredibly cheap. It allows you to reach out to people regularly. It gives you the opportunity to say new things, remind them of services that you've had before, offer new products, and even share appropriate information about other products that you might offer. Statistically speaking, the amount of money that you would invest in email marketing is going to return in the thousands on a return on investment, thousands of percentage points. So and by and large, everybody in the world has email. Not everybody is on all social channels. So the best place to start is by gathering and incorporating email marketing into your daily practices. When you do that, though, it's important to categorize your audience as you deal with this, because when you have the benefit of email marketing, you don't want to send out one email to an entire group of people. You want to segment your audience into the important people. First of all, the regular customers, the regular donors, the people who see you on a regular basis. Those are one particular group of people that you want to talk to. They're going to have different interests than prospects, because prospects don't know you as well as the regular customers do. The regular customers want to be appreciated. The regular customers want to be valued. And the regular customers want to be reminded of the great experience that they have. So that's one particular bucket of people. The other bucket is people who might only come to you during one particular season. So, church people, especially, there are a certain segment of people, I don't remember what they're called, but people who only come on major holidays like Easter and Christmas. Those are seasonal supporters. Those are a different audience altogether. And then finally, the people who are really, truly VIPs, the people who will always come to you no matter what. Those are the people that you want to make sure that you are valuing on a consistent basis. More importantly, though, as you do this in this customer retention strategy, you do have the opportunity to chat and share with the new people and the prospects as well. So that needs to be a list unto itself. So let's talk about your website. As you are trying to ask these people to continually contact you, continually be in contact with you, reminding them about the things that you've done together, 80% of most mobile traffic now is through a mobile device. So it's important that your site is mobile responsive. A lot of times your customers might just be looking for your phone number. So if they do that on a mobile device, you need to be able to give it to them and give the information that they want in a very easy and simple way. Mobile responsive sites display your site correctly regardless of device. So the first thing a mobile responsive website will do is determine, is this a phone, is this a tablet, or is this a PC, and then render the site accordingly. It also has what's known as touchscreen responsiveness. Touchscreen responsiveness is if you're looking at a website on your phone and you actually click the phone number, it will literally dial the phone for you. It's a really important aspect. It's something that a lot of companies overlook. It's something we do pretty regularly. But also it labels every single a mobile responsive image website labels all the images that you are working with. So that actually really helps and grow your SEO, and it gives you the opportunity to even find new customers. The third thing that we talk about in terms of a best practice is updating your website on a regular basis. The easiest way to do that is a blog. Now, a blog is sort of a catch-all term that refers to any update to your website. It could be news, it can be testimonials, anything that gets updated is really kind of considered a blog. A blog can showcase your work. It keeps your clients up to date about what's going on. It allows people to subscribe through an RSS feed. And if you don't have an RSS feed, you should check in with us later because we can provide those to you. But it allows fans to automatically get information every time you put something new on your website. And it also gives you the opportunity to make some information that you are giving to people members only. You know, one of the most irritating things in my life is my cable bill. And every time I turn on the TV, I see some new deal that the cable company is offering to try and entice new subscribers. But what about me? I'm already a subscriber. I need to feel valued. I need to feel like I'm important because I'm giving that company money. Now, the cable company doesn't care about me that much. They just want my money. But on a small business level, we want to make sure that those VIPs and those consistent customers are valued to the extent that they get to feel a little special, even just by having information be members only. Fourth, and best practices on, let's talk about social media engagement. When we're talking about social media, we want to make sure that we don't just have a Facebook page and then call it a day. We want to consistently share our successes, things that we've done well, things that customers have come back to us with and told us about what a great experience that they've had. In doing so, realistically, the best way to do this is have your website automatically update to all your networks. But when you do that, you also need to make sure that you engage on each network individually as well. So in an ideal world, your website should push out information to each one of your social channels, but you still need to make sure that you're listening to people who are trying to interact with you on each individual social channels. One of the fun things that you can do with social media is have private boards, members only, like I just talked about, specials. All of that can be included using social media fairly easily to give that really special feeling to your existing customer base. In doing so, a couple of tools that you want to consider to make your life easier. First of all, as I said, your website should automatically post to networks. It should automatically give new deals and offers, so you only have one place to update. As you are looking at social networking as a place to provide information, generally speaking, Facebook is a great place to just put just about everything, but also put deals on it. If you are a business-to-business or B2B business, a great social channel to consider is LinkedIn. If you are concerned with SEO, the best place to be is Google+. And Twitter, if you are wanting to dive into that, it's great for short updates, headlines, tips, and curated content, meaning content that you found from somewhere else that you want to add in and share with other people. So best thing that I can share with you today is automate everything you can. But as we're doing these things, we want to make sure that we are keeping in mind our customers' best interests at heart, but we don't want to overwhelm them. They've already come to us and they've already given us money. The best thing that we can do is by respecting them and not overwhelming them. So the question is, how much do you contact them? How much do you reach out to them? It's a simple answer. Less is more. And focus. Remember, 80% of the people who you're going to be communicating with or sharing emails with, most of them are going to be doing so on a tablet. So make sure that the creative that you send is as valuable as possible on a mobile device, and it is mobile responsive. Otherwise, you might start to lose customers as well. So I'm going to stop here and say, hey, Jenna, do we have any questions from the audience yet?
Nope, not yet.
Excellent. You know, I really love it when we answer everybody's questions as part of our content.
You're just so thorough.
I feel like we really do. I feel like we really do a good job together, Jenna. It's really fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about time management. The best thing that we can tell you is, as you're trying to put together content to entice those existing customers, is repurpose everything that you do. Here's an example. If we post something to our website, boy, I said R a lot.
You're turning into a pirate.
Sound like a pirate. Geez. So we post something to our website. I did it again. Just post something to our website. What we can do then is share that content on other places. We can share it in an email. We can share it online. We can share it on Twitter. We can share it on Facebook. And we can even take one step back. But the purpose of that is we're taking one piece of information. We're growing our audience by covering it with a lot of different places. This slide is very important because it shows you that you take one piece of content and it's a ripple effect. You can actually have your audience and the megaphone in which you're speaking grow so that all of your customers, wherever they might be, are reminded of the great customer experience that you've given them. So wrapping up, I just wanted to say thank you for, I think this is one of our last, this is certainly Jenna's and my last webinar of the year. So thank you for listening. Thank you for being here with me, Jenna. This is always fun.
Oh, you're welcome. I have to keep anything from going wrong.
Well, you didn't have to tell people. You didn't have to tell people that. Yeah, I mean, that's really what she does. She makes sure nothing goes wrong.
Catastrophically wrong.
We've been talking about customer service best practices and best retention strategies. We gave you a couple of tips on how to digitally re-engage with them. Hopefully you found it interesting. In addition to these SCORE seminars that we do every month, we also do weekly seminars. We call them busy webinars. You can visit our website at busyweb.com/events. They're every Wednesday from noon to 1 p.m. You can register and watch, and you can actually participate live like we're doing right now. But as soon as we're done, if you aren't able to see the event, you can actually go to youtube.com/busywebcom and actually see a recorded event. And this event will actually get posted to YouTube as soon as we're done. So those are absolutely free to you, and you can go to as many as you want. And we encourage you to go to busyweb.com to actually see what we're going to be talking about in any given time. One final holiday gift for you on this day of the Force is to get a free Buzz report. Our Buzz reports are available online at busyweb.com/buzz. What that will do is it'll give you a free audit of your website, tell you everything that you're doing well, everything that we would encourage you to take a look at and actually improve upon to give you a better help in the new year. And you can go to busyweb.com/buzz. See that? It takes about 45 seconds to actually get it, but we wanted to offer this as a thank you to all of our friends at SCORE for working with us in 2015 and hopefully again in 2016. So thanks everybody for joining us. Jenna, did we have any questions?
No questions.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you everybody for coming. We'll see you next Wednesday for one of our last busy webinars of the year. Dave will be back next week to do that. But if you have any questions between now and then, please see us at busyweb.com. And once again, thanks everybody for participating. We'll see you next year.